Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to take a look at refueling, air-to-air refueling in the Wasp in particular today. So it will probably be a much shorter video than the last couple of videos I've put out, because it is a fairly simple task once you get to understand what's happening and what you need to do as a pilot. So, before I get into that, I'll swap you over to my view so you can see what I see, and then we'll take a look at refueling. Okay, so here we are in the cockpit, a view that should be quite familiar to most people. And first of all, we see now we are fairly low on fuel. We are down to about maybe 2/5 of our fuel left. So we need a refuel. So first of all, I'm going to put the nav back on and I'm going to zoom out to see where our tanker is. He's directly behind me now, so let's go over and catch him up.
Autopilot disengaged.
Hit the burners and full burn. So he should be coming round. There he is. Directly in front. I'm not sure if you can make him out there. But looking at his aspect as well on the nav map, I'm going to have to come round on him as well. But that doesn't matter because I'm going to use that to bleed my speed. So the first thing we need to do is match his speed, because basically all we're going to do is formation fly with him. So I'm going to back right off and I'm going to pull round, bleeding all of that speed. Now, I know from practice that the tanker usually flies between about 300 and 370 knots. So again, very useful to know the speed. And notice I'm slowing down much further away than you would expect me to slow down. I want to try and match the tanker's speed before I get there, really. There's no point trying to match his speed while you're right up his bum. You know, you need to have all this sorted before you get there. So I look like I'm still gaining on him slowly at 368 knots. Still very slowly gaining. So I'm going to guess that he's cruising at around maybe 340, 330. So again, I'm coming up slow now. I'm just going to take my hand off and I'm going to open the fuel port. Otherwise, the nozzle on the back of the tanker will not engage, so we wouldn't know if we were in the right position. And I'm coming back on my throttle now. Now, you can do this with the autopilot, with the speed autopilot and the altitude autopilot. It can be a bit more difficult with the altitude on, but the speed can be quite useful, because the speed we see here, this is my actual, this is my actual airspeed. This is my requested airspeed from the, actually look where I'm pointing. This is my requested airspeed here. And this is my actual airspeed here. So I can use this dial. As you see, I can slow down and speed up with this dial. So that can be quite useful instead of trying to use the hand controller, because you can see how far this is moving just to keep 409 knots depending on how I move around. So trying to do that manually while you're trying to focus on the refueling tanker the first few times can be quite difficult. Now, I have found that I have like a sweet spot on my leg that I use, so you don't have to keep your hand over to the left. Once you have a grip, you can move your hand onto your leg, and I find this useful because looking at my readout for the thrust, all I'm doing here is rolling my hand backwards and forwards, and I'm controlling all my speed just by rolling my knuckles, basically. So I use that to control my speed, but like I said, for the first few times, just to get used to it, it can be quite easy just to use the autopilot to get your speed right. So I'm coming in quite fast, so I'm going to slow that right down, not watching what I was doing there. So there we go. I'm going to say 380 his cruising speed. So let's get close to 380. There we are. And I'm going to back off until I see that speed start slowing down. Now this is doing it manually, and I'm just off to the side as well. So again, I'm rolling my knuckles backwards just to bleed that speed off. I'm a little bit high. So now I'm watching my vector indicator for the height. I'm not watching up here for the plane, I'm watching the vector indicator to keep stable flight. And there's my nozzle. So just a quick look up at the speed. I'm just over 383, so I should be gaining slowly. 382, slowing down a bit too much, so I'll roll my knuckles forward a bit, get that speed up. Again, watching the velocity vector, not the aircraft. That's going to keep me level, stable. I'm getting a bit fast, 387, so I'm going to slow right down. 382, 381, 380, so I'll speed up a little bit, catch back up. 382. Slow down a little bit more. 381, a little bit more. 380, speed up.
Contact. We'll top it off.
So now I've got contact. I'm just watching the velocity vector, and I'm kind of keeping my eye on the speed as well. I want to stay at about 380. I'm getting a bit crazy there. So I'm just trying to keep 380, and I don't want to be braking like that. So too fast. So
disconnecting. Hold it together now.
Trying to talk and do this at the same time is quite difficult, but again, I'm not being heavy on the controls. Just nice and easy on the controls.
Disconnecting.
Oh, getting a bit too fast.
Contact. We'll top it off.
So watch what I'm doing.
Try to stay within the margins.
Let's back off a little, and we'll come in and do it again. I'm starting getting a bit jerky there, so there's no point trying to chase it around. So I'm just going to come back. Speed just over 380. I'm just trying to find that sweet spot again on my leg. So slow it down, not too fast, not too fast. There we go. So 379, 380.
Contact. Hold that position.
Let's find that sweet spot. There we go. Just watching the velocity vector and just rolling my knuckles around, just keeping that speed. Now, if you get this right and you get the right angle, you can use the colours on the nozzle. So if I was a little bit higher up, I would see the green. I can just about see it if I look up. So I can use that to gauge my speed. If the colour starts going in, I'm going too fast. If it starts coming out like this, I'm going too slow. So I'll speed up, slow down. Oh, too fast.
Disconnecting. Trying to stay within the margins.
But you could see where I'm kind of getting at there. Just using the colour indicators as well on the nozzle to help control your speed. But like I say, all of this difficult while you're trying to talk and do it at the same time. But it's basic formation flying. You've just got to get that speed. So there we go, 380, back up to 380. And watching the velocity vector, so I'm not jerking all over the place trying to chase the plane around. I'm using the velocity vector, watching the speed. Too slow, burn.
Out of range, disconnecting.
Oh, it's much harder while I'm trying to talk. You can also see that the lights up there actually mean something as well. So, too far forward I think is red. You see that? And I'm also maybe too far off to the right. I think that means I'm too far forward and I'm too far right. So, there we go, I'm lining up.
Contact. Hold that position.
So I believe when you're in the perfect place, the two lines, there you go, green lights, sorry, mean you're in the ideal position for a refuel. So you can also use the lights to guide you in, but as you can see there, it's not quite easy to see the lights when the hose is in the way.
Out of range.
But I think I'm sure somebody can tell me what I'm getting wrong there with the lights, because like I said, I tend not to use them. I use my speed and my velocity vector.
Contact. Refueling.
Well, let me calm it down
and
let's see if I can top us off. So, just rolling my hand around, watching the velocity vector, getting a bit too fast. 383. Slowing it down, 382, 381. Okay, now try and hold that 380. Getting a bit slow, roll forwards a bit. getting a bit too close. Let the speed bleed. What's my velocity vector? I pulled up a bit then.
Disconnecting. Try to stay within the margins.
So really, I'm a bit too close when I'm engaging here. I've not got much margin to slow down and speed up. So
Contact. Hold it right there.
hold on, pal. Let me,
Disconnecting. Try to stay within the margins.
Ooh, not too fast, not too fast, not too fast.
Contact.
So there we
Hold it
go.
right there.
So as you can see here, I'm just using the colours now. I'm watching this green marker. I'm getting too fast. Roll my hands back too. Right, no, too slow. God, this is hard while you're talking. Right, peeling off. There we go.
Out
Refuel.
of range.
Right. So let me continue this. So there we go. You can see I'm definitely not the best at refueling, especially when I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing at the same time. But hopefully a couple of tips there that will help you along. Like I say, try not to focus on the plane. I ride motorcycles as well, and it's something that new motorcyclists do called corner fixation, where you get fixated with a particular point on a corner instead of where you're supposed to look, where you're actually going, sorry. And it's something similar with the refueling. You kind of get fixated on the plane and then the hose, and then you're trying to chase it around, and as soon as you start getting all crazy, you're not doing formation. You're what Slippery Gypsies taught me is called the spazzy caterpillar, apparently, where the planes are kind of doing this, trying to, you know, keep up with each other. You don't want to be doing that. You're diving around all over the place. You just got to come in nice and easy, kind of figure out the plane's cruising speed. Like I say, somewhere around 310 to 390, I think, depending on who's put the plane on the server. But just come up slowly, nice and easy way in. Watch that airspeed. Like I say, the autopilot can help there. I was doing it all manually, but also using the Quest 2 isn't great trying to do it manually, because tracking your hand down at your side doesn't work very well. But when it does all work, it's quite a rewarding experience getting that full fuel remark and you pulling off, especially when you can get it all in one fill. The first time I did that felt great. But anyway, I'll stop waffling on now. I'll just say thanks very much for watching. If you do know what the lights are trying to signal, please do tell me in the comments. I've seen them several times flying around, but like I said, I tend not to use them because I can't see them for the hose. But thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Over T.